Deleted session, August 17, 1971. Good evening. Now, the healthy person takes health for granted. He takes it for granted as he does the air that he breathes. He can appreciate his health as he can appreciate the air, without feeling that either is going to be taken from him. He is not concerned with his health, because he takes it untrust unthinkingly, as he takes his life untrust. You take your artistic ability untrust. You consider it a part of you. Rupert considers his writing a part of him. They are people highly gifted with artistic abilities, who have never trusted those abilities, did not consider them a part of themselves, and practically speaking, have been unable to use them. The abilities have always been present, however, latent as with each man health is there, though perhaps latent in the same way. The rich man thinks of wealth as a part of himself. He takes it for granted he has it and will achieve more. The poor man takes his poverty for granted, actually untrust, and takes it for granted he will have more of the same. In all of these areas, expectations bring about physical reality. The life that you two personally have has been brought about through trust and expectation. Now, only a comparative few operate in such a manner that their entire lives, in all areas, bring about the results they think they are after. The danger is in concentrating upon the lacks, the sore spots, building up greater concentrations of mistrust. In very important issues, both you and Rupert are in excellent health. In every important manner, you personally are in the best of health. So is Rupert in all areas, except that one upon which he has concentrated negatively, and given up trust. I want you to realize that in very important ways, and even in the health area, you are both successful. Rupert has always taken it for granted that his organs functioned well, the living organs upon which survival is dependent. There were two areas that he did not quite trust. These were connected with the past, but only in so far as the distrust grew there. But the lack of trust is the important issue. One had to do with the in-quotes problem of artistic creativity versus womanhood, and this along with personal background brought about a distrust of the feminine organs, not in such a manner that illness would result therein, or say, diseased organs, but only so far as function was concerned. Later, with certain issues that arose between you, fairly well understood now, I think he felt his womanly qualities afraid to you both, and the habit of mistrust became manifested in a suspension of monthly periods. We will give you some suggestions on this when I am finished. The mistrust of mobility or fear that it could be taken away was built up also, with other reasons given in the sessions, simply through the suggestion over the years of living with someone who was not mobile. The proximity alone. While Rupert trusted the body, then in all other areas, these 2 points represented holes in his armor, so to speak. When inner challenges and problems went unrecognized for some time and became physically materialized, these were the areas chosen. The resulting symptoms then served to reinforce the initial lack of trust. A state of faith in reverse therefore operates. The rules are the same. As you believe, so you are. Now, even after the initial causes of the mistrust no longer strongly operate, you are left with the results of, in quotes, your faith. In this case, the faith in immobility. As already discussed, the exterior situation then serves to reinforce the inner data, and it seems to fly in the face of all reason, to deny exterior symptoms. You follow me here? Rob said, yes. They said, this is all apart now from good and evil. It does no good to say, what should such things be? Since you are here to learn how thoughts, feelings, and emotions are materialized physically, this is to lead up to Rupert's as-if game. It is an excellent method. It will work if he follows it. Though you must not look for results, in those terms, quickly. You are left with, as of now, the results of negative beliefs projected upon certain portions of the body. The old charges have pretty well worn down. You should try to help him in this game, understanding how it works, even if you want to play it with him. It is extremely important that it is an as-if imaginative game. Up to now, you both have been playing the illness game strongly, in your imagination, both creating symptoms, imprisoning Rupert within them in the present, seeing them in the future, and examining future events in the light of present symptoms. So you understand how to play the game. We just want it reversed. You need some reminders. I am not speaking now necessarily to you, for I have said this before. Remember areas of health and vitality. As far as your living quarters are concerned, enjoyment of them, taking spaciousness for granted, loving the idea of it, will bring you more. Rupert's enjoyment of the trees will lead you to an area of greater trees. His enjoyment of class money will lead to more. In any of these areas, however, concentration upon the lacks will reinforce these. I want you to see what you do right, so that you can apply it to these other areas. In his as-if game, have Rupert imagine he is having his spirit, buying his 10 packs. This is all he need do, not hammer the point. This and your satisfactory sexual relationship now will also help. He feels more now that you accept him as a woman. For a while, he felt you did not. A note. The reincarnational information you received was quite legitimate, and with some little application on your part, entire episodes of that existence could become clear, with little relative effort. Rob asked, was my father there in that class? They said, he was indeed. Now, give me a moment. My book will do very well. Take this for granted. Rob said, I think we already do. They said, the reincarnational material that you have received should enlighten you. There is an important reason for your love of detail. and also there are charges connected with these. The details represent far more to you than you realize. You do not love detail for detail's sake, for example, but you can overreact strongly in such areas. Now, when your idea of truth or art or artistic integrity is connected with detail, then the charged areas show themselves. This applies often in your paintings, and can in certain areas of my book where you are involved. One wrong or bad apple, you feel, can rot the whole basket. When your idea of artistic vision is concerned, then each detail is of utmost importance to you. Details represent steps to truth, to you in those areas. Other parts of you realize quite well the importance, for example, of inspiration, in which the steps or details do not appear in logic terms. So you allow both aspects to balance themselves. You may take a break. Now, the as-if game brings the picture of health into the present. Robert sees himself imaginatively as completely healthy and free now, which is something he has not been able to do. That is extremely important. This is done in such a way, when it is done correctly, so that no comparisons against present behavior is involved. The idea of health, however, becomes as persuasive as ill health was. The idea of playfulness and even of fun and ease must be maintained. Robert must find the game fun, not resolutely pursue it. The as-if will automatically retrain muscular motion and without effort. Let us look at a scene from a play called Getting Up in the Morning. It has been acted out imaginatively and physically, with some changes and variations. Generally, however, it has been the same. This thing will change not necessarily because of any particular effort to reenact the scene differently imaginatively, but because of the overall as-if game. You follow here? Rob said, yes. Seth said, the set and the expectations will change. It is important that you try to play this with him, or know what he is doing, simply because you reinforce each other so strongly. So you play your own as-if game with him. This will help. Do it in the same manner. As Robert knows from his reading today, Psycho-Cybernetics, when the dawn suddenly bursts, any discouragements should be accepted as part of the learning process with which he is involved, and the failures, particularly of the past, forgotten. You should not remind him of them either, or concentrate upon them yourself. In the past, he often used the image of himself, in his terms, before I got sick, as a basis of comparison. Worse, he sometimes used the 20-year-old physical self, which automatically led to some very negative attitudes, since he simply is not 20. He wants to be a healthy present self, not a healthy past self. A good deal of the weight problem is not a problem. You have both to some extent over-exaggerated it. He can use more weight. The energy used in worrying about the condition has taken up the small leeway that would have given him weight. In the best of health, he will not be a healthy person. For example, when advance is seen in these other areas, the weight gain will be automatic. In seeing himself in his as-if gain, the healthy image should include ordinary weight, but without stress upon it. Now, certain habits should automatically drop away if the game is played correctly. He is not dressing with the freedom of an ordinary healthy, good-looking young woman, for example, so he must dress for the role in his as-if game. Healthy women do not dress to cover up their bodies, to hide their knees or their arms. They dress to show them off. If the as-if game is played correctly, the dressing habits will change automatically. Again, without stress. Rupert feels humiliation, acting as if he were perfectly healthy. Such imagined humiliation would not be automatically projected. This is one area where both of you will have to watch, contrasting the gain against immediate physical data. It shows, however, a lack of freedom in a pivotal situation. I said pivotal because the dressing brings together both the idea of mobility and womanliness, both past areas of mistrust. The sexual area also combines both the lack of mobility and the womanly aspects. So freedom and the as-if gain in these areas is doubly important and vital. Again, here particularly the gain should not be carried out resolutely, but with an idea of imaginative fun. There need be no decision on Rupert's part to wear short skirts all the time. For example, that would not be freedom either. Done properly, this game will be played almost automatically, but the entire mental patterns will change and hence the physical. Quickness of mobility will easily return. The suggestions should also be retained. They are very helpful. The as-if game will increase the suggestions worked by dissipating habitual areas of thought that combat them. The creative blank in the writing has been worked out, and for now that the dream book rests, it will be used. Spending money as Rupert has been doing, and his freedom with his creative writing money will give him more. In this area, and in taking on greater rent, you act on the trust that more is available, and so it has been and will be. You should look for a house when you are ready, that you want and desire regardless of the amount that it costs, and the means to get it will come. If you think you are being reasonable by looking for a lesser house, that seems more within your means, then you are selling yourself short, lacking the trust that more will be given. The feeling towards such a house will automatically guide your experiences within it. Do you follow me here? Rob said, yes. They said, this is indeed a potpourri of a session. There will be far more organized sessions to come, and other books, but used correctly this information is most vital. People go from illness to illness and from poverty to poverty from lack of the knowledge I am giving to. Now take your break. Rob said, thank you. They said, I am not making you overextend yourself this evening. Rob said, it's very interesting. They said, now, this release on Rupert's part will also release you both in other areas that have been inhibited. Open expressions of want are extremely important on both of your parts in your daily life. and are also connected with your creativity as well as your health. This applies to you and to everyone. This also applies this trust of open wealth to internal data, psychic information, and inner experiences. If you allow yourself the freedom, you can draw for inspiration not only from this life's experience, but for your painting, use visual memory from your other existences. Emotional feeling will also emerge as you remember people and faces that you have known, and places that you have loved. Many excellent artists have drawn from this source. The willingness to trust opens up these and many other doorways to perception and creativity. Past feelings of abundance from other lives can help you ignite a current love of abundance and concentration upon it. When you, now, Joseph, find yourself enraged or even just upset about world conditions or the behavior of your fellow man, certainly admit your feelings and express them. Realize, however, that it is up to you in which areas of reality you concentrate. An over-concentration in those areas helps bring about those conditions in your own experience. There are great parallel existences now occurring, always occurring, all taking place within the area of physical activity. To some men, there is no good. The world is not to be trusted, and their experience proves it. Others dwell in a world that is filled with all kinds of abundance. Both worlds are real. Both are created by those who experience them. You know that robbers exist. You do not dwell on the matter, however. It hardly overbalances your greater feelings of trust, and so while granting that thieves live, you go unbothered. If you began a practice of following all reports of such crimes, you would soon find yourself embracing the fact of theory, drawing to you those people because of your own concentration. The same applies to all areas of activity. Despite your feelings against this house, generated because of Mr. Spanini, at least on one level, your love of it was picked up by your present landlady for several reasons, having nothing to do with the house. She has great respect for your painting and for Rupert's abilities, and you knew her when she was a soldier in Rome. It is for this reason that she painted the halls and made the apartment adjustment. In this case, the past overrode your negative ideas about the house when she bought it. Now, you may end the session. I am going easy on you until my book is typed up. Ralph said, "Well, we can take a break." Seth said, "You may indeed." Now, it may seem to you that ideally one should be so highly proficient that in one life you are gifted with excellent health, great abilities, power, and wealth. The fact remains, however, that many individuals choose to specialize in course, learning, for example, how to translate creative thought into physical form or into physical abundance, and rarely ignore other areas. In some cases, an imbalance is deliberately chosen, as I have mentioned, for various reasons, for the sake of experience, for emphasis. Some seek and achieve wealth simply to learn the lesson that wealth alone is not the answer to life's problems. So they are wealthy and unhappy, though they need not be wealthy and unhappy. You follow me? Reincarnational challenges need not take a lifetime to satisfy, however. Some such problems are settled in mid-life or even before, and the new challenges set. You are not stuck with a situation. Then, because of a previous life, you gave it to yourself in order to solve it. We will indeed write a book which will make all this quite clear, where you are not taken as examples. Here, however, we start with the personal. Now, Rupert was a priestess in that life. Rob asked, in Rome? They said, when you were in Rome, and did not know Sue. There was no great connection with you, except that you visited her once, and the two of you were both involved in what you may call in quotes mystery religions. You were steeped in such lore, having been born in Greece rather than in Rome. Rupert acted as an oracle, and you consulted her at one time. Now, I am going to end the session. Out of regard for the typing you still have to do on my book. Rob said, it's not so much. They said, read and apply this session. Some night I will give you some pointers on practical matters having to do with data you receive, the future of the material, and other matters. A hearty good evening. Rob said, thank you very much, Seth. It's been very interesting. They said, whenever you are ready with your recorder, it is fine with me. Rob said, okay, maybe Wednesday night. Then good night.